Right, so we're on to the next stage where we're looking at how we're developing the box further. You can see what I've done this time, if we just zoom in a little bit, is I've took the bottom of the box, which was originally flat, so the two bits fitted together, and actually made them so they're stepped, just to make it look a bit more interesting, and also to allow it to look like the drawing that I'd sketched on my concept design. So if we go back to the concept design sketches, you can see that what I've tried to do is put them in as a layer. Not convinced whether it works that well at the moment, but at the moment I'm just trying to mimic what I've actually done onto these designs. So you can see we've got a very simple one at the top, and then we've got these ones towards the bottom. So it's all part of your development work. Now on this page what I've got is the three drawings that I've did, and you can see I've numbered 1, 2, 3, and the last one which I've done, which is number 4. But thinking about it now, I could probably develop this very easily a little bit more and perhaps get those onto one page. In that case what I would do is put the specification for the box onto this side just to fill that space up. So if I go back to 2D design, we can have a quick look at how we can develop this just a little bit further. Well, we've already got some developments that actually go quite simply from one stage to another. So we've got a square box that can then go to drawing these bits in, which are the recesses and corrugations. It then goes to extending them. So you can see these two are very, very similar into the box. The only difference is this time we've got that area at the top that we need to look at. We've then put that area around the bottom so it makes the box symmetrical, and then what we've done is developed it so we've gone onto this part and just redrew the bottom. Now this is the same drawing that I just keep copying and pasting and just editing the parts underneath, and that's what I'm going to do next. So I need to at least get another 2 or 3 developments, and to be honest that's going to be quite easy. So if I minimise this area and go back to my other drawing, the untitled, this is exactly the same as what I've just copied from the other side, but what I am going to do is start putting in some little recesses where perhaps a logo can go. So in this case, just go back to gridlock. All I will do is just draw in, and I've clicked on the wrong thing there, let me just go back. So once I have done, that is just drawing a recess that goes around the box into there. And because it's a recess, all you're going to see really is going to be something like that, and that's all you're going to see onto that box. If I do the same on the other side, and we can have the logo inserted into the bottom, try and keep it as sort of symmetrical as you can, in the sense of that's 2 triangles down, so try and keep these the same, and we do exactly the same this way. So we just draw the lines in, and we've got another development. Now it's as easy as that to get these developments onto these boxes. I'd imagine the next piece that I need to look at is probably doing the same for the top. So for the top, if we just do that identical, and what we will do is do that step down. It's quite easy just to draw squares and to sketch. And if you're using this isometric paper, it's probably easier with pencil than it is drawing it on the computer. And that's my next development. So we've got another development with the actual bits in. I'm not sure that we actually like that. It doesn't matter if we like it or not at the moment. What we are trying to do now is just develop the product a little bit further. So at this point what I will do is copy it and then paste it, and we'll drop that one back to where it needs to be. Hopefully that will be in line with the boxes. If not, what we'll have to do is make sure that we've got the areas snapped to it, which it looks okay to me. It's just a bit off onto that point, but generally that's okay. Right, now if you don't like the bits, which I'm not too sure we do, onto these bits, what I could do is try building them out, and I do that exactly the same way. So where the square is, I just take out the inserts from there, but this time project the line going up, draw the box in, and just use the frameworks from there. Again, I've got another idea that's very simple, but it's quite easy to do. It's very quick, it's quite easy to do. So this time we've got them actually coming out. So I'll do exactly the same, get rid of the internal lines, and from the internal lines I'll project those going out. Now there is an easy way to do this, which is just to copy and paste and move it out by one, but I think that's going to be more confusing to show on the video clip, so it's probably easier if I stick to doing it this way. But it doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you've got your sort of design developments there. So you can see these are starting to look quite effective now, and it's just the opposite way of doing the recesses. I suppose the third one that I'm going to design, if I needed to, could actually be where we've actually got one's going in and one's going out on the same box. But for my drawing wise and development work, that's probably enough for what I need to do. It could be that I want to draw something onto these bits, but bear in mind it's going to be a bit tricky because they're a bit smaller. I'll try it though. But these are the things and designs that you can consider, and even if they go wrong and you don't like them for whatever reason, it's just as important to actually say why you don't like them as the things that go right, because you get exactly the same marks for things that go wrong as you do for things that go right. As long as you can justify your design decision, you should be able to get the marks for it. So if I then start adding bits onto that bit there, take out the bits that I don't need, and I can also do the same onto this box, and we can see if that actually makes it look any better or any worse. At this point though, I'm not really too bothered about these areas. The chances are it's just going to stay quite plain as it was before. Now the difference is on this one is when I draw it on the opposite side, is that because I'm looking from the inside of the box, clearly it needs to go outwards. So what I will see on this box is something that looks very similar to that. Okay, so it makes it just a bit more advanced. And to be honest, that's all the development work that we need to have at this point. So, how would we save these? Well, we could save them as JPEGs or WMF files. It depends on what version of 2D design you're using. I am going to save them as a WMF file though, and I'll just zoom back out so you can see how I'm doing it. All I'm doing there is I'm going to highlight it all. Some people group them. I'm not going to bother grouping mine onto that bit, and keep them highlighted, and I'm just going to go to File, Export File, select WMF file, select the area that you want to save it in. So I don't know, in my area I'm going to actually place it into my documents, and there should already be some there, which there are, which are to do with boxes. So if I call this one boxes 2 and save it, click onto OK, and it's as easy as that. That's pretty much the 2D design element of this done, why it's in orthographic or isometric. So I'll do the orthographic bit later on, but why it's in isometric, that's all I'm going to do onto here. So from that point of view, all I do then is go back into my graphics exemplar, and if I then go into Insert, Picture, from File, so I click onto Documents, from Documents, there it is, boxes 2 I believe, double click onto it, and it's as easy as that. So if I just zoom out now and click onto that drawing, shrink it down to the same size as where they should be, and that's pretty much your design sheet. Now what I am going to do is I am going to copy these from there, and I'm going to place them onto a new design sheet. Okay, so if I just go to Control and V, because what I will try and do with this bit is, once I've done my write-up of the evaluation, is I'll try and actually do this in a 3D sort of rendering, photorealistic rendering, and to do that I'm going to use Pro Desktop, and I'll do it in separate parts and render it, and that will be on the next video clip that we're going to do, which will just show how that bit fits in. Okay, so that's that part of development of the boxes. Hopefully you found that useful, and what I will say is, when you're doing yours, if you can try to think how you're going to present the page for example, like doing in rows of threes and having an image on here, it helps when you start to put this together. So, design work goes literally onto these sheets, it adds to the other sort of marks, you can't go wrong. And that's the end of this session, and the next session we'll be looking at how to do this box in Pro Desktop.